G'day guys, and welcome to today's Aussie adventure. In this episode we'll be going over GVM upgrades, why we got one done, what the pros are, what the cons are of having it done, and also the process involved in getting it done, because it is quite a process, and it's a very costly process. However, getting it done will mean that you're totally legal and totally covered by your insurance company. So let's take a look at the suspension that we got first. So Mighty Maxine's had the GVM upgrade. The GVM upgrade we went for was the Lubbles 3600 kilogram GVM upgrade. That's up from 3100 kilograms. That gives us an extra 500 kilograms of payload basically on the car. This is the front suspension, and all it really comprises of is heavier duty shock absorbers, and obviously they change, they change quite a few things when they're doing that. The rear leaf springs are quite heavy duty, and so is the Lubble shock absorber. It's a lot stiffer than your stock stuff, and it's even a lot stiffer than your constant load rating non-GVM upgradable suspension, which is what we had on this before we got the GVM suspension done. One of the things when you get a lift done as well, and a lot of people are not aware of it, is once you get your lift done, the bottom of your mudguard here can be no more than 300 millimeters from the ground. Hence, with the GVM upgrade and the 2-inch lift, we've actually had to have these little mud flap extensions put on, and now that is a requirement, and you will not pass engineering in New South Wales if that is not done. So why did we get a GVM upgrade done to our truck? Well, there's a few reasons why we got it done. The first thing though is I'll go through what the straight out of the factory, what the new Isuzu Dmax's weights are. Its tear weight's meant to be 1,965 kilos. Its GVM is 3,100 kilos, and its GCM, which is not on the registration papers, but it is in the manual, is 5,995 kilos. So you think, okay, that's good. It's a step up from the older models. Yeah, awesome, extra 100 kilos. However, once you start adding things on, bull bars, side steps, rear tub protection, bash plates, winches, lights, snorkels, long range fuel tank, all the bells and whistles, dual battery system in the back. If you've seen our rig rundown, you'll know what the dual battery system was in the back. Bigger tyres as well. You start to eat into that 3,100 gross vehicle mass very, very quickly. Now, when this we were well within our GVM by about 100 kilos when the awning was on. The toolboxes were full, the fridge was in the back, and we were loaded, ready to go. We probably had about 100 kilos to spare. But the minute we bought this little caravan here, which I'll show you the compliance plate on it very shortly, as soon as we bought this, the minute that, and it's a 14-foot caravan, guys, single axle, and it's people talk about like gross trailer mass and things like that. That's where the rego papers, and I'll show you those, that's where the rego papers differ very, very significantly. That's the so instead of having, what you can see on the compliance plate, it's totally different. It says our GVM for the van, which is not, which is 1,823 kilos. That's fully loaded. Now, at 823 kilos, you can basically say 10% of that is of that, which would be, well, 10% of that would be the 1800 will be 180 kilo downbore pressure. We'll always work around the 10% mark. If not, work it a little bit more. If you're unsure, just say, okay, then if it's 10%, my trailer weighs 2 tonne, that's 200. Add another 2% to it just to be on the safe side. But there's say 180 kilos. Now the compliance plate in the van says the unladen, the tow ball weight's 120 kilos. So the minute we put this tiny van onto this truck, we were over the GVM of the truck, well within the GCM of the truck and the caravan combined, but over the GVM in our truck. So the compliance plate on our Jayco vans is an empty ball mass of 120 kilograms. The ATM shows it as 1,988 kilograms, and the GTM is 823 kilograms. Now, what's got me beat is there's no tear weight on the compliance plate. However, on our rego papers, we can see that it has a tear weight of 1538 and a GVM of 1823. Now, this is the rego papers compared to what the actual compliance plate says. So the aggregate trailer mass is 1988. And the gross trailer mass is 1823. So basically, yeah, I'm a little bit stumped as to if I just worked off the paperwork from the RTA, I'd be saying it's between the difference in what I can carry is between the tear weight and the GVM. So on the registration papers, it says the GVM is 1823, but the GTM on the compliance plate is 1823. The ATM is 1988, no tear weight, but the tear weight on my rego paper says 1538. So where I go with that, I don't know. However, I do know that once this is loaded, it's usually 10% of the tow bore downbore pressure is usually 10% of the loaded vehicle. So if I was to go off the GVM to be safe, which is, you know, the 1823, I'm looking at 180 kilo downbore pressure. Obviously that would have to be weighed correctly when it's loaded. However, for the exercise of this video, it's more about making sure that your car is legal to what you can tow, and basically adding it all up. So one, you're legal, and two, you don't get yourself into a whole world of hurt if something happens and you end up in an accident. Now, if we had had an accident, the first thing the insurance company is, and someone was killed and the coroner was involved, they are going to weigh absolutely everything and everyone that was in and on the vehicle in the event of an accident. And trust me, if you're over by the weight of a Snickers bar, you are gone. You are absolutely gone. The insurance company will walk away from you, and there goes all your hard-earned cash, all your pride and joy. It's all gone, mate. And you do absolutely run the risk of going to jail, which is not something that anyone wants to do. So that is the reason why we got our GVM upgrade done, because I knew that once we were fully loaded, and that's as a standalone vehicle, and that is a base camp, so we go away for a week and we want to take off with swags and things, mate, I was well over, or very, very bloody close, and I'm not prepared to take that risk. Okay, so the next thing, when we got the Lovells suspension put in, not any lift kit can have a GVM upgrade done to it. The engineer that done our stuff, I won't mention his name, but he was very, very helpful. He basically said, does the suspension, because I had the XJ GVM suspension on from TJM, and I was told that I could get 10% extra GVM upgrade done to it. Not true at all. The suspension you get put on your car has to be second stage compliant to the standards, the ADR or whatever it's called, standards. So that was something that, you know, that I learnt the hard way as well. Okay, so I've got all this paperwork here. So basically what I wanted to show you was the tear weight, the GVM of the Dmax from factory. Got to remember, that doesn't include a tub liner and canopy neither, you know, as well. Now, what we had to do once we had the level suspension upgrade done, okay, is we had to get the car weighed again, okay, on a calibrated weigh bridge. Now, one of the things that the engineer went through with me was, he goes, you've got to make your car as light as possible for its initial weight, okay, your tear weight. Okay, so I went through and I pulled out the fridge slide, one of the toolboxes. I couldn't pull the other one out because it's pretty well fixed in there. All the tools out, the spare tire off, the awning off. I basically got as much an empty tank of an empty long-range fuel tank, and it went over the scales at 2,520 kilos, and that's with no one in it. And that's just with the basic mods, really. So that up to 3,100 kilo, that really still only left me, you know, what's that, 3,100 kilos? What's that, 580 kilos, I think, of extra payload. But that really shocked me. And that's with a lot of weight taken out of the truck, okay? Then the next thing was, as soon as we got it done, I went and filled it up with fuel. We had a few things to, I put my tools and everything back in. We had to take a very light amount of stuff to the tip, and I went over the weigh bridge at the tip, and we weighed, with me and Karen in the car, we weighed 2,780 kilos. We went in at 22.8, 2,800 and something kilos. By the time we dropped the rubbish off, we come out and we're 2,780 kilos, and I went, wow. Okay, and that's with a full, so that's 120 litres of diesel and 2 people in the car. Tools in the car, still no fridge, still nothing else. We went straight to 2,780 kilos, and then I went, wow, very, very interesting. Anyways, once you have got your GVM upgrade kit that's second stage compliant installed, it then needs to be engineered, okay, and then you've got to take those engineer papers down to the RTA, and as you'll see here, it says vehicle VCC, multiple compliance certificates exist for this vehicle, so everything gets changed. The GVM gets changed, and a lot of things get changed. They don't go on the actual rego papers themselves, but you must carry a copy of this with you when you're out and about, and you must, and you tow in a van and things. If you get pulled over by the weighing guys, the scalies, I think they call them, the truckies call them, you can pull this stuff out of your glove box and show that it is completely compliant. Okay, so here's the actual engineering certificates, okay, and it says the vehicle has been fitted with the Lovells suspension GVM upgrade kit, raising the vehicle's GVM to 3,600 kilos. The kit is equivalent to federal compliance plate approval number, blah blah blah. It just shows you what it consists of, that the actual rating has changed, the front and the height has changed, and applied ADRs to data vehicles is 12, 23, 35 and 42. Okay, it's also, you'd need to know that if you've had a long range tank installed in your vehicle, it also has to be engineered. So if you're going to do it, you do it all in one go and you save yourself a bucket load of cash. And we obviously present it to the RTA, and you get your papers done up. So I'm losing paperwork here everywhere, guys, just bear with me. So basically, yeah, it goes through what's been changed from original manufacturing stuff, your tyre rating, what it must be as a minimum. So that was really interesting. And then on the back, you'll see that the application codes that you get: fuel tank alteration, GVM rating for non-standard, change of vehicle category, front suspension and steering, rear suspension modifications. And you've got to take this certificate down to the RTA, and it's free to do. That part's free to do, but the engineer isn't free. So yeah. So guys, there is a fair bit to it. It's not just a matter of, you know, getting it done, getting the stickers and away you go, because mate, until it's all registered with the RTA, you're still illegal. And you've got to let your insurance company know. And yeah, and look, you know, now that I've had all that done, I know I've got mate, I've probably got 400 kilos to spare with a fully loaded van and everything else. So the pros being, I'm legal and I'm covered, and I ain't going to jail unless I show absolute sheer negligence and run someone over when it could have totally been avoided. But then again, let's hope none of that happens to anyone. The cons of getting it done. Okay, there's a couple of cons. Cost is one of them. It's not a cheap exercise. For us, it was everything, engineering, suspension, everything that we got done. It was around the $5,500 mark. But at $5,500, and you know, to get out of jail free, mate, yeah, I was definitely prepared to do that. Now, we've had ours done for quite a while now, and if you watch Buckaroony, he's done a great video on weighing his car, because he's bought the new van and all that sort of thing. And I highly recommend checking out Mr. Buckaroony's. He's got one where he gets the BT50 weighed, and through an independent weighing guy up there, and he, like most people, should be worried. He was fine because he'd had his GVM upgrade, but if he hadn't had his GVM upgrade with his caravan, he would have definitely have been over the GVM. He's within his GCM, but his GVM he would have been over, but he had the GVM upgrade done. Anyways, check his video out, guys, because you know, I reckon the more people know about it, the better, because 95% of people out there are completely wrong. You know, they look, I'm no expert, but at the end of the day, it's the engineers and it's the RTA and it's the police and it's the coroner if someone dies. They're the ones that have the final say, mate, not you, not the salesman, not the caravan salesman guy, not the suspension salesman guy. Those guys are the ones that have the final say. So look, I hope you found this video informative. Yeah, and honestly, guys, it's really in your own best interest to go and get your car and van weighed. Obviously, if you're not towing, you know, and you don't have as many mods as what we've got, you might not have to worry about it. But I'd still go and get yourself weighed. If you've got kids and things like that and you're packed and ready to go, I'd still go and get weighed and make sure you're within your car's GVM. So yeah. Yeah, one of the other cons about having a GVM upgrade with the stiff suspension, it sort of takes away a bit of the capability of the car. It doesn't have as much flex. That is one of the other cons to getting a GVM upgrade done. However, as time goes on, I'm sure things will soften up, especially on the tracks that we take the girl on. Yeah, she'll soften up. But anyways, guys, I hope that's been informative. I just highly recommend getting yourselves weighed and checked, because you're gonna probably be very, very surprised at how quickly you can be over and get yourself into trouble if something goes wrong. Anyways, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Cheers, and we'll see you on the next episode. See you guys.